Hey y'all, it's Lippy with Gemini Homestead. I'm testing out some lighting. Most of you know we remodeled the kitchen, and I didn't realize, neither did Buddy, when he changed the recessed lighting, he went with an LED daylight something, and we realized that could have been the problem because everything looks washed out in white. The cabinets even looked white when they're really a cream. So we went out to the shed and we found two of the original bulbs. So we've got them sitting up above us. And then until we can go to town and get 4 new ones, we've got half of the daylight and half of the soft white. So I'm hoping if I'm standing over here, to me, I can actually see a difference than if I'm standing over here. I don't know. Y'all are going to have to tell us. But at least we now realize where the lighting problem's coming in. Because at first I thought I had messed with the phone, which I did. But I Googled and found out how to undo what I did. But anyway, the other day I had did a Cajun meets Asian stir fry. And I said, you know, I'd share the egg rolls. Y'all, today is Wednesday. That video was on Monday. I'm just now doing the egg rolls. There's so much happening here. Most of y'all can relate. So I want to go ahead and do the egg rolls. Now, these are egg rolls that you can prepare and eat immediately. Or we're going to take it a little step further. I'm actually putting these in the freezer. Well, we may eat a couple of them, but majority of them's going in the freezer. So I thought I would share. My recipe is probably way different than a traditional egg roll. But you know, anything you can put in a egg roll wrapper is going to be good. So I'm going to run you through the ingredients, just like I did on the stir fry. I think it was a hit doing that. And then we'll just cook together. The first ingredient you're going to need is 4 cups of shredded cabbage. This is where you can use bok choy, but this was my leftover cabbage from my stir fry. And I use a serrated blade. You can really put it however you want. You can run it through a food processor, run it through a grater. I like to use a serrated knife. Because what I'm trying to accomplish, because it rolls the egg roll, even though I'm going to get these soft, you see, it's very tiny juliennes. Okay, so let me get this moved out of the way. And over here, I've got a half a cup of very fine diced onion. Now, this is a yellow onion, and I mean it's very finely diced. This was my leftover bell pepper, if y'all remember. This was a half a bell pepper. There again, it's about a half a cup, very finely diced. I've got 2 tablespoons of green onions. I've got a cup of grated carrots. Now, I did grate these. And I'm not sure if I mentioned that's 4 cups here of the cabbage. And then down here is a heaping tablespoon of grated fresh ginger. Here is the egg rolls that I'm using. I just pulled them out of the fridge. And you see this concoction here. This is going to be my base. This is what's going to give the egg rolls a lot of flavor. Okay, to this I have 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, a teaspoon of brown sugar. Okay. Now to this, like I said, this is the flavors that we like. I'm going to add a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning. I'm going to add a teaspoon of garlic powder. And the reason why I'm using the garlic powder, in the past I have used minced garlic, and it actually tends to have a bitterness. Even though you put it in last, I don't know if it's the freezing or the frying, but it'll give a bitterness. Okay, now to this is Szechuan spicy sauce. It's one of our favorites. Now this is spicy, And I'm going to guesstimate. I'm trying to practice measurements. So I'm going to guesstimate. That's a tablespoon. I'm going to go 2 tablespoons, y'all. Now, this is spicy, so you may want to drop it down to 1. And I'm just going to get this blended. Now, to this, I'm going to make a slurry. Now, I'm not actually measuring this, so I'm going to use a actual dinner spoon, which y'all would call like a tablespoon. So I'm going to put about 1.5 in. And I will be able to tell, see that mess? I'll be able to tell once I get it blended in. Because you don't want it too thick. What you're trying to do is just be able to combine all the ingredients. This kind of acts as a glue. And this is what I like to do first because it goes so fast. Okay. Oh yeah. I don't know if y'all can see it. See, it thickened it, but not pasty. See. Now here's our meat. I've got 1 pound of ground meat, and I have 2 breakfast patties. This is just sausage. Now you can omit the ground meat and substitute ground pork. I'm out of ground pork. I chose ground meat, and I added 2 breakfast patties. And I'm going to get these browning. All I'm doing is breaking up the breakfast sausage down in the middle. Let me lower you. Okay, so you can get a better view. Bring you in just a little. There we go. Now what I did over here is I added the cabbage and I also added the carrots. I did not add the green onions, the bell pepper, the yellow onion, or the heaping tablespoon of grated ginger. And you'll see why. So all I'm going to do is get this browning. Okay, you see it's almost brown. It's still got some pink, and that's what I want. I'm going to show y'all a little trick that I learned. And it works well because I want to keep some of these flavors in here. Okay? So, take you a couple of paper towels. And then don't ask me where I saw this at, but I tried it the other day on pork chops, and y'all, it worked. All I'm doing is absorbing some of this grease. But now, I don't want to get all of my grease out. If I wanted to do that, I would have put it through a colander. But I'm not trying to do that. And there's a reason. There we go. Perfect. See? That's when I'm going to come in with some onions, the bell pepper, and the garlic. I'm on about a medium heat at this point. Oops, not garlic. Did I say garlic? I meant ginger, y'all. I had some ginger on my hand. And the reason why I'm putting these vegetables in, because I want them to be soft. Hope I've got the camera down. I want y'all to be able to see all of this. Oops. There we go. Let me move something out of the way. Perfect. Let me test. This doesn't take long, y'all. I can break that bell pepper with not much pressure on my wooden spoon. So we're there. All I'm going to do is remove this from the skillet because it's got to cool down. I would say a good 15 minutes. So I'm going to get this in a bowl, then we're going to move to the next step. We've got the meat sitting over here resting and cooling. Now, you see in this pot, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. I had a phone call, so I had to turn the stove off. All I've got in here is the cabbage and the carrots. And what I want to do is wilt them down. Now the cabbage holds a lot of water, as most of you know. But I want to pull a little bit more moisture out. So what I'm going to do, and it's just a little bit of salt, because remember that soy's got a lot of salt in it, a lot of sodium. And I mean a pinch. And what I'm doing is I'm going to force the liquid to come on out of the cabbage. Now, if I was frying cabbage or sauteing cabbage, I would not do this because it has enough moisture, but I need to pull out even more. It's been just a couple of minutes, and I'm sure you can tell how it has decreased in size. Now, I'm not trying to get it very, very tender, you know, really limp. I still want a little bit of bite to the texture. Now, y'all see this browning over here? You know what I tell y'all, that's flavor. Now, I'm going to come in with the mixture that I showed y'all how to make at the beginning. And I don't want to lose any of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop out some of this and I'm going to roll it around. Because I don't want to miss any of this good stuff. A little bit more on this side. There we go. Perfect. Now I'm going to turn my fire down. Actually, I turned it off. And that's where we're going to come in with the meat. Now what you don't want to do is put this hot mixture into an egg roll. Now the fire is off. I'm going to fold it in. And I'm going to set it into the large bowl. And I'm going to let it get right at room temperature. I had to pull my apron on up because I know I'm about to make a mess. Now right back here, I've got a pot heating up to 350 degrees. Of course, I'll bring you closer. And then I've just got a cutting board with some paper towels, a draining rack, a screen dipper, and some tongs. But I'll bring in and show you what I need that draining rack for. Now we're going to roll. Okay. Yep, y'all can see here. I've just got a plastic cutting board. And I've sprayed it with a non-stick spray. Here I've made a flour slurry. This is my glue. And I'm using flour because these will be going in oil. And I've got me a plate sitting over here. Look at this goodness, y'all. And then I have my egg roll sheets. Now, I'm just going to do a couple to show you how I do it, and then I'm going to get them all rolled up. Now, I'm just going to paint. Okay, now we're going to go in. I guess I should have turned it more this way. There we go. Now, this amount depends on you. I'm looking at a kitchen serving spoon size. If you go too thick, it's going to bust on you. There we go. We're about center. I'm going to fold this one over. And don't worry if you tear it. That's very fixable. But do you see how that slurry acts as a very good glue? Now, I'm not the best egg roller, y'all. But as you can see, my egg roll recipe really isn't traditional. And there's one. I'll do one more. And the more you do each time, the better you become. Or if you're like me, you just slap it in there. And you go with it. And the reason why I've sprayed this plastic mat, I can pull this up. There we go. Pull this one over. And we're going to roll it back in. There you go. We ended up with 15 egg rolls. Okay, I'm loading up my basket with 2 of them. And I'm just going to set the basket down with them still in the basket because we're flash frying them. Let me move you up just a little bit. And as soon as they want to float to the top, I remove the basket. And I'm going to use my tongs just to kind of turn them around because we're really not just cooking them and frying them. I'll show you the color they're supposed to be. Now I'm doing 2 at a time because I can control it better. And if you hold it sideways to be able to squeeze in the end of the wrap, it will adhere in the grease. But we like to put them in the oven to reheat. So we're not just saturating ourselves with, deep frying. Okay. And it doesn't take long. What, 30 seconds? So you see, and of course I'll bring the camera in. I want you to really see the color of them. But I found if you leave them in this basket and drop them in and allow them to come up themselves, you have a better control. If I was just set them in there, it could actually separate and open them up. Let me see if you can. See what I'm doing? There we go. Now, the reason why I have them on this drain board over here is because I don't want them laying on a paper towel and getting soggy. Now, see, I'm just going to hold that one down because the seam looked like it wanted to pull. This one's fine. So, see, I'm going to come in, lightly hold. So, you'll just have to work with it and find out, what best works for you. They're ready for the freezer. I've got them on a cookie sheet with saran wrap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flash freeze them. I'm going to put them in the freezer just like this for about an hour and a half. Now I'm sure you saw there was some missing that was supposed to go in the freezer. It's snack time, y'all. Look at that. 2 for me, 3 for him. What I'm going to do with these, like I said, is I'm going to put them in the freezer just like this. Hour and a half to 2 hours. They are not completely fried like the other ones. They're still kind of soft and just a light golden, okay? And after 2 hours, they're going to have a flash freeze. And then I'm going to take them and put them into a freezer bag and then put them in the freezer. And then when he wants an egg roll or 2, we can pull them out, put them in a preheated 350 degree oven, and there we have a snack. He's going to be tickled. He doesn't know that he's getting any. I told him, I said, no, we're going to have to save these. We have to restock. Y'all, he's working so hard, he needs a snack. Plus, I kind of wanted one too. Well, actually 2, and I was like, Heifer, you can't just eat 2 of them and not give him none. So, I'm going to surprise him with his 3 egg rolls. Now, I do like to use like a sweet and sour sauce to dip mine in. He chooses to do the, sometimes he'll put a sriracha. I think that's a little bit strong for my palate. He likes to use soy sauce. A little too salty for my palate. But that sweet and sour, and I buy the premix, y'all. I wouldn't even try to mimic it. You know, it's very affordable. But I wish I could tear into one of these. But it's hot. Ooh, yeah. A little too hot. But I'm fixing to serve him up. I hope you try this. I will link the ones that's maybe just finding this video. I'll link in the description the Cajun Asian stir fry. Oh, that rhymes, y'all. Cajun. Oh, that's a tongue twister. Cajun Asian stir fry. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to put that video in the description. But I hope you try it. Remember, it doesn't have to be Asian to go into an egg roll. The possibilities are endless. Well, I've never tried a dessert one. Apple pie egg roll. What? Yep. That's my next one. Because, see, I put apple pie in the, what's them little things? The wonton wrappers. I love to set those down in like the small muffin cups. Fill it with like an apple pie filling or what. Now, they're really good. It's almost like a slice of apple pie, only it's in bite form. But anyway, I'm out of here, y'all. Take care, and God bless.